Hey everyone, welcome to XiaoWu's channel. Lose job, no income, with a 6-month-old baby at home. Here's exactly how I spent a super happy, laid-back day with my family at my wife's parents' place in rural China. It rained lightly last night, and the morning air in the countryside feels like it's been freshly washed, so crisp and clean. I love that feeling, especially because I've experienced the total opposite, waking up early in a big city, squeezing onto a packed subway, with hundreds of other people just to get to work. Good morning, everyone. Look at this little guy, he's just booting up, head wobbling around, eyes still glued shut. I think he needs a proper wake-up service. This is my son, an almost 6-month-old baby boy. Last night it was my turn with my wife to take care of him, and he slept really well. The second he opened his eyes, he gave me the biggest smile. Today we have to take the baby for his vaccines. My phone had already sent me several reminder messages from the vaccination center 2 weeks ago. But right after Chinese New Year, a ton of people who normally work in coastal big cities like Shanghai and Hangzhou had come back to our inland small county. We didn't want to stand in huge lines, so we decided to wait until after the holiday rush to get him vaccinated. This is the little guy's first must-do item, every single morning, moisturizing. Ever since he was born, he's been allergic to cow's milk and breaks out in eczema. He scratches himself so hard, he sometimes breaks the skin. The doctor told us we have to moisturize him every day. Recently we switched him to a hypoallergenic goat milk formula, and he's adapted really well. The symptoms have improved a lot. Plus, compared to the old deeply hydrolyzed formula, that cost $25 for a tiny 400 grams can or $50 for 800 grams, this goat milk powder is only $37 for 800 grams. That saves us a nice chunk of money, which is huge for a little family like ours with no job and no income. Today is the 29th day of the new year. Most of the people who came back to our small county for Chinese New Year have already left again to go back to work, or hunt for jobs in the big cities. But I'm not one of them. I actually lost my job 2 months before the baby was born. I've been sending out resumes online, but I'm getting almost no replies. This is the reality most young people in China are facing right now, because of the economic slowdown. Still, with my family around me now, I'm not as anxious as I used to be. Our baby's nickname is 567, in Chinese that's Wu Lu Qi. He's such a lively little guy. Every time he sees a toy or something new, he gets super excited and waves his arms like crazy. This morning my mom went into town to buy some meat, and picked up breakfast for us on the way back. In the countryside, we grow most of our own vegetables, so we only need to buy meat at the market for our daily protein. Today's breakfast was these. They're called baozi in Chinese. You ferment the flour, wrap all kinds of fillings inside the dough, and steam them. Usually it's pork, or bean sprouts, or shredded radish. A pork-filled one costs 1 renminbi and 50 cents, about 20 cents, and a vegetable one without meat is 1 renminbi, about 15 cents. A carton of milk like this is usually 2 renminbi and 50 cents, about 35 cents. So one person's breakfast comes to just 85 cents, less than $1. So tell me in the comments, how much does breakfast cost where you live? 567 is sitting happily on his little throne, totally entertained by his toys. We don't have to worry about him at all. After we finished eating, I made 567 a bottle of goat milk. We're heading to the county vaccination center soon. It's about a half-hour drive, so I want to feed him first, so he doesn't get hungry and cry on the way. The goat milk really does taste good. He's finally free from that old formula, that tasted terrible and cost a fortune. While he's drinking, let me pack everything we need for the trip. First, the formula is a must. Then the bottles and tools for feeding. Diapers, burp cloths, and an extra clean outfit in case he spits up or gets dirty. Oh, and don't forget the baby's vaccination record book. We're taking the baby to the county town vaccination center today. My parents-in-law currently live in the county town as well, so after getting our vaccinations, we plan to stop by their place for a visit. We already told them our plans yesterday. After feeding him the milk, we're ready to head out. Since we'll be out all day, we're bringing his stroller too so we don't have to carry him the whole time. The county town is about 25 kilometers from our house. Roughly a 30-minute drive. We start on a small country road, then turn onto the main highway heading to the county. I picked this route because there's almost no traffic right now. Ten days ago it was packed with cars, because so many people had come back from the big cities for Chinese New Year. Now everyone's gone back to work, or looking for jobs again. Most people who live in inland provinces in China, head to economically developed coastal cities like Shanghai for work, because there just aren't many good jobs around here. The scenery on this road is beautiful. There are famous mountain scenic spots near my house, so the environment is gorgeous, super fresh air, clean water. Every family here has their own well, there's zero pollution. We could actually get vaccines in our town, but you have to make an appointment and wait in line. it's really inconvenient. That's why we usually drive to the dedicated center in the county. My wife's parents, 567's grandpa and grandma, are also in the county right now. They haven't seen the baby for about 2 weeks since Chinese New Year, so they really miss him. This trip lets us spend a whole day at Grandma's house too. There are tons of nice places around here. Subscribe to the channel, and one day I'll take you guys exploring. Right now, the view is stunning because it's rapeseed flower season. Farmers have planted huge fields of it. They press the seeds for cooking oil, but before that you just get this golden ocean in front of your eyes. Come along with my camera and enjoy the view. After about 20-something minutes, the farmland on both sides starts disappearing. That means we're almost in the county town area.
涨了1块多一升。
什么时候涨
3月23。进城了，要进。
This county town isn't big at all. You can drive from one end to the other in just a few minutes. There are tons of places like this in China. Besides the big cities, most of the population actually lives in small counties just like this one. After a half-hour drive we finally arrived. And just like we hoped, there are almost no people here today. Perfect timing. Just like in most countries, babies in China can get free vaccines. And if kids want to go to kindergarten, they have to finish all the free shots first. Today it's super quiet. This vaccination center serves the entire county. Most people getting shots are little babies, and children because almost everyone completes the free schedule when they're young. Apart from kindergarten and elementary kids, it's mainly infants. But in recent years, the economy has slowed down and young people are having fewer and fewer babies, so China's birth rate has dropped fast. It's become a big issue. As you can see, the place is almost empty, which is one clear sign of how sharply the number of newborns has fallen. After we took our number, we were called almost immediately, almost no wait. Following the doctor's instructions, we confirmed all the information, and signed our names on the electronic screen before the shot. This brave little guy barely reacted. He didn't cry like the last few times. He didn't even know what was happening. He just let out a tiny little whimper. After the shot, the doctor told us we still have to observe him for half an hour to make sure there are no reactions. While we waited, we weighed him and measured his height. At 6 months, minus his clothes, he's about 9 kilograms and 68 centimeters tall. I still remember his birth weight, 3.05 kilograms. Even though he's been allergic to cow's milk since day one, it hasn't affected his growth at all. He's absorbing nutrients really well. After the half-hour observation, everything was fine, so we headed over to Grandpa and Grandma's place. It's only 2 to 3 kilometers away. On the way to Grandma's, our little guy started crying non-stop. Looks like he wants more milk. The first thing the little guy did when we arrived was get a diaper change and another bottle of milk. This is the shop my father-in-law rents. They live here most of the time. The shop mainly sells alcohol, drinks, tea, and some cigarettes. The street is actually pretty busy, but business isn't what it used to be. In recent years, with the economic slowdown, a lot of physical stores are struggling, because everyone is cutting back on spending. People who used to drink are saving money there too. Right now they're just barely covering the rent, while they sell off the stock they still have. When we got there, my mother-in-law was already busy cooking in the kitchen. Today's lunch she prepared for us was really generous. Do you guys know what this is? These are green dumplings, a traditional food people in our area eat during Qingming festival. I'll show you exactly how they're made in a future video. She also got us fresh strawberries. This box of strawberries cost 14 renminbi, approximately $2. We had shrimp, roast duck, and lots of vegetables. While we were eating, 567 sat beside us watching. He looked super curious about our food, and wanted to try some, but right now he can only have milk. In a couple of days, we'll start him on some grain-based solids. Grandma also bought 5672 really fun toys. One is this yellow duck. It has tons of functions, but the coolest one is that it can copy whatever you say. But the first time 567 saw it, he looked a little scared. He needs time to get used to new toys. This panda does the exact same thing. It learns and repeats sounds too. In the afternoon, we pushed 567 out for a stroll. My wife's cousin lives really close by, so we decided to drop in. Today the cousin wasn't home, but his wife was minding the store. They run a small shop selling daily necessities and offering photo services. They have 2 kids, one in kindergarten and one just started elementary school, so his wife has tons of baby care experience, and shared a lot of tips with us. While we were chatting, it started drizzling. We made it back inside, just before the heavy rain hit. Someone was working on the shop sign out front today, so the entrance looks messy right now. Once the work was finished, my mother-in-law was responsible for cleaning everything up. There are still plenty of people walking by, but almost nobody comes in to buy anything. It really shows that everyone's pockets are tight these days. Five, six, 7 woke up shortly after falling asleep. It seems he is no longer afraid of this toy now.
你跟他一起跑，吴志奇。
When dinner time came, we ordered KFC delivery, burgers, fries, and fried chicken. Ever since I lost my job and moved to the countryside, it's been ages since I had KFC because our little town doesn't even have one. Coming to the county today made it easy, just a few taps on the phone and it was delivered right to the door.
像一下是一双吹布的，也是吹米样零吧。你看看，还是算了，放远一点。好好吃哦。
Yeah.
Looks like 567 is really interested in that burger. He reached out and grabbed the one in Grandma's hand, trying to take a bite.
那个都不让我吃。啊，擦，这么擦干净。
After dinner, it was getting late, so we packed up and got ready to drive home. The little rascal just had to leave a little souvenir at Grandma's house before we left, which is honestly a blessing in disguise. At least now we don't have to sit in the car, smelling his stinky fumes the whole ride. 567 said goodbye to Grandma and Uncle. Next time we'll probably see them, when we come back to the county for the next vaccine.
哎，不让你鸡吃，哎呀，嘿嘿嘿，好的，你吃了。你鸡呀。
That night we drove home through heavy rain. 567 was still full of energy, staring out the window the whole time, and making happy little shouts.
前方村庄请慢行。
The country road was pitch black at night, with no streetlights, so we drove very carefully. Well, that's it for now, it's getting late. That wraps up this video. Bye bye, see you in the next one.